Kicks 105.5, Pat Green, Wave on Wave. 7:48 on a Wednesday morning, and it's on its way to beautiful. Was it still foggy out there?
A little foggy, but not bad. Not
bad.
I guess I have to
microphone
turn your
on.
mic
There we go.
The magic button.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, check.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, there's a lot of online options when you're shopping for insurance.
Sure.
Everybody knows about Geico. The thing that I think that the biggest advantage to calling you is having somebody local. You get chipped on your car. We had talked about rocks hitting your car while you're driving. I can actually go to you. And do you have people do that?
So the way it works is that we are licensed as insurance agents. So we are licensed to sell insurance in Vermont and New Hampshire. At Barrett Insurance, but we're not licensed to adjust claims. That's a totally different license, totally different setup, and companies have their own adjusters. So we'll sell you the policy, and it's our goal and our ultimate responsibility to sell you a policy correctly so that when a loss occurs and the adjusters are working with you, that you are satisfied in the results.
Okay.
Yes.
But if they have to call the adjuster, but before
they have to call us, and we'll file it, and then the adjuster gets assigned, and then
but before that goes on, sometimes you just want a little advice about, are they going to cover this or not?
Absolutely.
That's where you can come in and help.
Absolutely. And again, it comes back to the way we sell the policy, ensuring that you understand, as you well know in our multiple conversations, insurance is not necessarily an easy topic.
No, it's not. It's not on or off.
As your eyes get bigger and bigger and bigger on that statement. So it really is good to have somebody who, I do this every day. And much to my wife's chagrin, I do it every night and every time I sleep. It really is.
He's quoting policies in his sleep. What are the odds on that one?
My son's first words will be premium, or in his first sentence will be, your claim is denied. That's just the way it's going to be. But it really is on to us to give you the proper advice and talk you through so that you can make a conscious decision. Because it's not I always tell people I can sell you a policy any which way but loose. I really can. I could get in trouble.
Your goal is not just to sell the policy.
No.
You want to have these people long-term for life.
Right. I mean, it's the old cliche thing where insurance agents are, and used car salesmen and lawyers, and we're all bad people, but ultimately, and people don't always believe this when I say it, and I totally understand and respect that because I haven't done this all my life, obviously, so I have a perception of the consumer looking at the insurance agent. But our goal as an agency is to really do right by you. We don't want you paying too much for your insurance. We don't want you paying for coverage that you don't need.
Right.
We don't want you being overinsured.
And if there is an accident, you want them to have the right insurance.
Correct.
And you want them to stay with you year after year after year.
Correct. It's about relationship building and it's about trust.
Right.
You can really. Like you said, you have a lot of options for purchasing insurance, but when it comes to trust in a relationship, isn't it nice to be able to call and talk to the same person who knows you, understands what's going on,
knows your house,
risk,
knows your car, knows what. Right. And when you sell a home policy, you said you actually go out and look at the house sometimes?
Yeah, we're all the time. All the time. We're a little different. We don't do the we actually will go through the house, and there's a reason for that. We want to make sure that we're giving you every eligible credit. That's the first step. 2, we want to make sure that because we come up with the estimated replacement value for your home, which is, of course, the value that you will be insuring for based on our discussions. So it's important for us to understand the mechanics of the house, the materials of the house, the finish work of the house, the footprint of the house, and even further, a lot of insurance companies now, even though me or myself as an agent have written the policy and underwritten field underwriting is what we like to call it, where we understand the risk, companies still like to send their inspectors out. And if an inspector comes and sees something that I could have seen if I had done all of my job, there would be,
there's a problem.
I don't want there to be a problem.
Right.
The last thing I want to do is sell a policy to someone who then gets non-renewed or a little cancellation in the mail and says, well, what's this all about? So it's really a trust-building relationship, and that's really what it's all about for us.
So another quick question. How often will you find that the appraised value of the property is different from the replacement?
Every time. Well, a great example is St. Johnsbury. Some houses were appraised for $60,000. You tell me what house you're going to rebuild
for $60,000, right?
And so I always tell people there are 3, if not 4, values on every home. All right, and we don't insure land. So people go, why are you higher if you're only covering my house? But what it is the towns have their appraisals, which I cannot tell you how they do it because I really honestly
Doesn't make
do not
sense.
know.
Right.
The bank appraisals for sale. So, bank orders an appraisal of a house to justify the value through the mortgage process for closing. That's another value that may or may not be close. A market value is the other one. That's, of course, what a house would be listed for on the market.
And they do comps to come up with that price.
Totally. So that's a very biased number.
Right.
It works for that particular market segment, but it doesn't work for insurance.
And then
me, the bad guy. But you got to remember,
there's what the lumber and the labor cost to build that house.
Exactly. And those values fluctuate constantly.
Depending on whether or not there's been a hurricane in New Orleans and all the lumber is being used down there and we have a shortage of
supply and demand,
sheathing and all that. Right.
And the big thing, too, is contractor costs. I mean, contractors don't work for free. So, you're talking debris removal of any kind of loss that you have, which is an absolute cost in that because debris removal is getting rid of the entire house. Some of it may be considered hazardous material. I mean, there's a million ways that can work out. But really, ultimately, you're talking, a lot of realtors will tell you can buy 10 times the house right now than you can build.
Wow.
And that's maybe not 10 times, but at least 5 times, because the average cost to build a home right now is in the ballpark of $160 to $175 if you're doing it the traditional way. You're not doing it yourself. But again, insurance companies are not looking to insure a home that you're going to rebuild during, because that could be 30 years from now and you're not going to want to rebuild it. So we're really looking to insure for what it would take for at regular standards to rebuild your home, like, kind, and quality, full indemnification. Not going to give you an addition, but we're going to give you what you have.
So are you saying that a house that you could buy for $180,000 right now would cost you $500,000 to build?
That's a perfect example. And we didn't talk about this on the air. There is a house on the market. In fact, this is one of the things that came across my desk in the past week. A house in the market right now. It's on the market for $179,000. And this is what the realtors will say is location, location, location. I looked at the house. I went through the square footage. The house is amazing in terms of the building materials. My estimated replacement, $500,000.
Wow.
And the person looked at me like I had 4 heads.
Well,
hey, you just looked at me like I had 4 heads. What's going on?
Wait, have you looked in the mirror?
I gotta look in the mirror.
All right.
But it's really all about protection. And the final closeout, the takeaway from this, talk to one person who wasn't properly insured at the time of loss.
Oh, that's all it takes.
That's all you need.
All right.
Yep.
Throw the phone number, the website,
I'm going to do it twice because we didn't do it last week.
All right.
So Barrett Insurance Agency, Portland Street, St. Johnsbury. Barrett Insurance Agency, Portland Street, St. Johnsbury. Just kidding. We're also located on the internet there. You can check us out at thebarrettagency.com, on Facebook, Barrett Insurance Agency, and give us a call anytime, 748-5224.
All right. And we'll talk next week.
Thank you, Val.